Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Daze and welcome to today's Smackdown Talking Points video. Now, this show, of course, took place in Perth, Australia, and so it meant that it aired earlier than usual. Actually, at the time of recording this, it has still not been shown in America. You guys have got it on USA Network. It's going to air at its normal time, but of course, it's going to be taped. So this, of course, is going to contain spoilers. That goes without saying. If you've not seen the show yet and you don't want spoilers, don't watch this video. But if you want to know what went down, if you want to know some of our thoughts about what went down, then let's go. We're going to start here with this. So it's not the easiest to make out, but you can see these kind of girders, these structures that are kind of around. I think it's meant to look like a diamond. I believe this is the same arena where we're going to be doing Crown Jewel. And so I think they've tried to kind of go with a bit of a diamond kind of made out of these metal girders. So, I mean, it looks to me a little bit like a claw. You know, one of those like teddy picker machines where it kind of comes over and then picks up a teddy. It's kind of got that kind of vibe, but I think it's meant to be a diamond because of this being Crown Jewel. And if you think about when we did Clash in Paris, they had the Eiffel Tower. I think the Eiffel Tower looked better, to be honest, than this, but at least they're making an effort. We've spoke before about wanting to get like special set designs for pay-per-views. So we've got to say, fair play. At least they're giving it a go, right? So the show opened with Cody, of course. Cody opening up the show, and really it was pretty straightforward. He was just talking about his match with Seth. He was just talking about how he's 3-0. He was just talking about all the other wrestlers and how exciting it is in WWE, and the crowd were cheering, and it was a very, you know, rah-rah type speech. There was this moment, though. The crowd started chanting that Seth Rollins is, and I'm going to have to say the words, right, a wanker. I'm sorry, but it's not only me that should be apologizing. It's also Wade Barrett, because I don't know why. I think Cody was in a playful mood, but he asked Michael, what are they saying? And Michael didn't want to say. But then Wade Barrett actually took the microphone, stood up, and actually said it, right? He actually said that. And the crowd, like, were all cheering and everything. So, I mean, that was a pretty fun moment, to be honest, from the promo. We didn't really get anywhere. We did kind of just wrap things up there. There is actually a tweet that looks like it's been deleted now by the looks of it. But it was just that on the commentary table, it still said main event. They hadn't changed it over to Smackdown. I think they do change that later in the show. But actually, the top part of the commentary table, it still said main event. Right, backstage, we had Jacob making it very clear that he's got his sights set on Cody, which is kind of interesting. Obviously, whilst he was saying to Cody, you know, once you get past Seth, I'll be around. Cody was like, glad to hear it. Just as we were doing that, we actually had Drew attack Jacob. So Drew attacks Jacob. We would later find out that they are going to have a match next week. Okay, first match was Sami. Sami, of course, open challenge. You can see this guy was holding up different signs throughout the night. One of them said Tony fears ratings, but that's not why I included this. I included this because of what Shinsuke was wearing. Shinsuke was the person that answered Sami's open challenge, but I just really liked his ring gear. It had like Japanese kanjis and it had like flowers, and it was very decorated. I thought it looked really, really good. So Shinsuke was the person that answered the open challenge. You lot said this was great, 62%. It was pretty much even with the main event. I personally thought the opening match was the best match of the night. That was my personal favourite. But you lot said it was very close between this and the main event. So Sami, Shinsuke, banger, really enjoyed it. Then we had Tama Tonga coming back. Now, Tama Tonga, I believe, with face paint, the exact face paint that he was wearing in New Japan. So I think we've got it here, actually. Gorillas of Destiny. So there you can see the face paint, which I believe is an image from New Japan. And then you can see the face paint that he's got here. You can see it's the same. So Gorilla tactics, says Adam. So this was during the match. Tama Tonga arrived. Then, of course, we would get the rest of the MFTs. There they are. They all had face paint as well. And there's Solo. Shinsuke down. Sami down. We didn't get a conclusion to this. Don't know where this is going. I mean, right now, Sami, Shinsuke, they are going to want revenge. But we know the MFTs would make their presence felt later as well. So really good opening match. Little bit of a shame that we didn't get a conclusion. I could see Shinsuke and Sami as a tag team taking on maybe Tonga Loa, Tama Tonga. I mean, they're obviously outnumbered, but yes, MFTs would show up later. Okay, backstage, we would have Drew getting told that next week he's going to have to face Jacob. Jacob would then jump him, and we would continue brawling in the back. Then we went to our second match. There wasn't really too much to this. Tiffany and Stephanie got a win over Kiana and Giulia. It was okay. Tiffany gets the pin with the prettiest moonsault. These two are obviously going to go up against each other at Crown Jewel. Everything was fine. They just kind of went over to the Crown Jewel belt in the entranceway, stared at each other, held up their world titles, and that was it, really. And really was not much to this. Good 96, you lot said. You wasn't really blown away by what you saw. Backstage, we also had Ruca and Zaria. They were just saying that they want an opportunity. They asked if Charlotte and Alexa were scared. Charlotte and Alexa basically said, we're not scared. We'll give you a title shot, but you're going to understand there are levels to this. So that was okay. I mean, it was a bit frustrating, them umming and ahhing about should they give them a shot or not. You know, why not? Why not? I mean, you're fighting champions, so why not? So they eventually agreed to it, though. So we're going to get that, but I don't know when. Right, then we got this from WrestleVotes. So as seen and heard tonight on SmackDown, a few superstars have reverted back to their original entrance themes. I think one was Shinsuke. Sources indicate several superstars have been requesting music changes for some time now, including outspoken names like Sheamus and Drew. Time will tell if those requests get granted. So, as you can see there, broken dreams for Drew. Are we going to be going back to that? People wondering if this is the end of Def Rebel's reign of terror. So Shinsuke seemed to go back to his original theme. Certainly the Street Profits seem to go back to their original theme. So yeah, interesting. We did wonder if the Street Profits were going to turn here. They had a match for the tag titles against the Wyatts. They didn't. And there was a little bit to talk about here. Still no howdy. Still no howdy. So no howdy, which is interesting. Basically, the Wyatts get the win against the Street Profits. Street Profits didn't split. Then the MFTs arrived. We got them lining up like this. And then we had Nikki staring at Solo. No Uncle Howdy. No idea where he is. No word as to where he is. Obviously expecting him to return at some point. But yeah, MFTs have got the advantage here. But of course, could we get the Wyatts working with Sami and Nakamura? I don't really know how that would work. But after this show, they've all got a problem with the MFTs. I mean, the Wyatts are going to have a problem with the MFTs. Shinsuke and Sami have certainly got a problem with the MFTs. It's hard to know where it's going, but I appreciate the fact that we're really doing something here. I do really like the face paint. I think that looks really good. I do find the MFTs to be a little bit clunky. They're, you know, the way they move and everything, it's not very explosive. It's not very athletic. It's not very dynamic. It is a bit plodding. It is a bit flat. I don't know. That's, you know, I don't know if we've got the blend quite right. So, yeah, this was interesting. Something for the Wyatts to actually get their teeth into. Right, then backstage we heard from The Miz. The Miz was asked why he had turned on Carmelo. He said he saw something in Melo. He wanted to mentor him. And then he said that Melo had the audacity to say that he was done. And then he basically said Melo did miss. So, yeah, we're just kind of building up, obviously, the issues between those two. Then it was time for our main event. So, obviously, we had Shinsuke answer the open challenge. That was exciting. We had the MFTs return. That was exciting. We had a backstage brawl with Drew and Jacob. That was fun. Then we had the MFTs show up and confront the Wyatts. That was interesting. So, I mean, we had a few bits dotted throughout the show. I think this is a solid show. It's definitely a show that's got talking points. Then we get to our main event. So here we have what looks to be like a new mask, seemingly, for Aleister. We might have had it before, but I don't know, grabbed my attention. Look good. Then we went to our main event, last man standing match, Aleister against Damian. Gotta be honest, man, this just didn't massively grab me. I didn't think it was a bad match. I would probably have it as the second best match, but it did not grab me as much as Shinsuke Sami. But we still got some nice moments. Got this right here. Bang! Oof. On the table. Table doesn't break. Table didn't budge. And Aleister flops down. But it's the ending that everyone's talking about. So here we got Aleister down on his knees and right to the face. I mean, the only thing I'll say about this is there's a bit of a delay here. So, I mean, he really pulls his hand back quite far to give him a lot of time. And then, look, he messes around. I mean, it just means that Damian has to stand there for a while. This kind of like fire thing has backfired in the past. We saw Hogan try and do this with the Warrior in WCW. It just didn't work. This worked really well, actually. But, yeah, maybe a little clunky here, but it's nitpicking, isn't it? So there he is. Look, pulls his arm back really slow. Throws it in his face. And then Black Mass, down goes Damian, and basically it's a win for Aleister Black. Now, I didn't see what had happened. Like, I didn't know if Zelina had been involved in that, because Zelina made an appearance and she was like, please don't hurt my husband. But apparently I was told during the live stream that it had actually been passed by Zelina to Aleister. So it seems like she very much was involved. But this to me is the talking point right here. Zelina and Aleister joining forces, I think is a brilliant move. I think this is really interesting. I think there's lots you can do with this going forwards. And it did have people in our watch along speculate and wonder, could it be that Lola Vice now is going to come and help Damian? I'm not too sure on it, just because I don't know that they're ready to make that kind of a move with Lola. I don't know if they're ready to kind of call her up. So there's a chance, of course. I mean, Damian does have a Zelina problem, but it doesn't necessarily mean he's going to get Lola to come and help him with that Zelina problem. So, yeah, interesting. I feel like there was quite a bit that went down here. It was a good show, a really good show. Talking points. I feel like things are happening. I feel like it wasn't flat. And if you think this was a go-home as well. So, yes, there was definite positives here. So, hopefully you enjoyed the show. Those are all the talking points coming out of it. I think it's going to be very interesting to see what the MFTs do. And very interesting to see where this goes as well. So, yeah, good. There we go. That was Smackdown. Appreciate you joining us. Hope you enjoyed this video. And I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.